I'm gonna make a squat video. Yep, it's my favorite movement. It's my favorite to teach. It's very complex. There's a lot of moving parts. And for all my hypermobile neurodivergent people out there, there's a lot to think about. And so I wanna break that down into a way that's digestible, so that way you feel comfortable and understand what to look for, what to feel, and what to think about when you're doing your squat. So let's start off with foot positioning. When we do our squats, we want to have equal contact on the bottom of our feet. So before you start anything, think about a line right here on the balls of your feet and a dot on your heel. When you stand like this, before you do anything, you need to establish that point of contact. We don't want the ankles to roll out. We don't want them to cave in. We just want to have equal pressure on the bottom of our feet. Okay, and with that, what we're gonna do from there is, people say knees out all the time, but what they're really meaning is you have your glutes right here that attach to the femur, and when I flex this, which kind of feels like tension, do you see what it does? It pulls my knee out. I'm not pushing my knee out, I'm flexing. This is me pushing my knee out. This is me squeezing my glute. Do you see the difference? So we have the bottom tension on the feet. We have glutes active. Okay, and then the other thing what I want to focus on is a lot of people have anterior pelvic tilt, so they'll be like this. What I want you to do, your hip bones are now angled this way. I want your hip bones to be angled forward. With doing that, once you angle the hip bones forward, you're gonna breathe into your sides. And the way to figure it out if you're doing this, push into your sides, breathe into your stomach, and push out, okay? So now we're gonna recap that real quick. We have equal tension on the bottom of our feet. Glutes are tight. Hips, neutral. We breathe into our stomach. Now we have all of this down, stable. So from here down is stable. Okay, and then the next thing I want you to do is, these are the pillars that hold us up from doing this. They're really challenging to activate, but one way to feel what that feels like, take your arm, squeeze this down, roll this back, and jam your pinky into your side from right here. So try to squeeze something right here and flex that. You'll feel tension and pressure right here. That's you stabilizing your lats. The next point is you take right here, and you hold in and down. So this is tension right here, and you have tension right here. Now, what we've done with that is we've stabilized our torso, we've stabilized our back, and we've stabilized our thoracic region. So again, we're gonna recap. We have equal tension on the bottom of our feet, glutes, hips, brace, lats, back. The last piece, pack the neck. Okay, now from here, a lot of times people, when they start descending on the movement, they'll lose it. So if I'm right here and I go, do you see how immediately when I do that, the hips dump forward? Now watch what happens when I go up, brace, down. There's no movement. We shouldn't see flexion and extension in the low back. That's why we're bracing our abs. This, when we flex into that with the fingers, that's what's stabilizing our torso from being bendy. We're locking that in, and then that's holding the front side, and then the lats are what hold the back side. So this is stabilizing from moving. This is stabilizing from moving. So we're just holding ourselves in a neutral position. So, oh yeah, and then another thing too, is everyone's gonna be different when it comes to toes out or toes forward, because everyone's hip capsule opens up at different spots. So some people might feel more comfortable with toes pointed out. Some people might feel more comfortable with toes pointed in. What you don't wanna do though is have it be where when you come down, the knees aren't over the toes. And what I mean by that is, if you look, my kneecap's in line over my ring toe. We wanna keep that as we go. So when you go down, it never deviates and goes in or out, because we have that equal pressure on the bottom of our feet. So now as a recap, we're gonna go feet, equal pressure, glutes. I hinge. Some of you might need to hinge in the beginning. If you'll notice when I squat, because I can't go from right here and just go, I hyperextend. So what I do is I give room for my hips. So I'll get feet, knees, glutes, and then I do a slight lean. And the reason I do this is it creates space for me to allow to keep this neutral, so I can keep that upon my descent. That's a really big part too. Some of you might need to lean, some of you might be able to be upright. It's all dependent upon your leverages and biomechanics. Okay, for like the 5th recap. Okay, so feet, glutes, hips, abs, lats, neck. Slow. Now when you do this, you'll notice something gives, right? Something will go off. You'll lose tension at the bottom of your feet. You'll lose your lats. You'll lose your tension anywhere. You'll lose something, right? When you first start, that's where we come into a box. So you go into a box. Imagine this is a higher box. Well, it's kind of high. Okay. So from right here, we go down right here. We have all this position where we get everything right. Then your job is to come down controlled without losing any of those things. But some of you might go and do this and plop. Now that's where your hamstrings aren't able to hold tension in an elongated state. So what you would do is you would raise the box higher, maybe you're right here, and you go down and sit onto the box and then come back up. So you're developing the body awareness to hold tension in the hamstrings. You do that for a week or two, then you lower the box height. Week or two, lower the box height. Then a week or two, get rid of the box and try pauses where you're coming down, holding. The game we're playing though, isn't necessarily about sets or reps. I would much rather you do 3 reps of all of those cues all at once, holding pressure, bracing the abs, knees out, all that stuff. Doing 3 quality reps versus going, I did 10, because then what you're doing is you're just ingraining bad movement patterns. So you want to break it down week to week of where you're at. And for instance, if you have a tough time where you come right here to a box that's like this high, and you go down, you go, you know that if your back rounds, you're losing tension in the lats. You know that if you hyperextend, you're losing tension in the abs. You know that if your knees cave in, you're losing tension in the glutes, or the foot stability on the bottom of your feet isn't equal. All of these things when you're squatting, faulty movement patterns, are just things where you're not holding tension where you should be. For example, if I'm doing a squat right here like this and I go, look at my foot. The weight's on the inside of my right foot and it's causing my knee to cave in. But now I'm gonna put equal pressure on the bottom of my right foot and then get tension in the glute and watch what happens. All of a sudden it's more stable. So anytime you have a fault in your movement pattern, it's because you're missing tension somewhere. And I'll give you a quick summary that if the knees or ankles are collapsing, it's feet. If the knees go in, it's glutes or feet, to reiterate. If your back hyperextends, you're losing your brace. If your upper back rounds, you're losing thoracic tension in between your shoulder blades, or you're losing tension in your lats. If you fall forward, you're not packing your neck. And the other thing is when you're squatting, what I like to see is shoulders over knees from the side. So this would not be shoulders over knees, and it's like really uncomfortable. But now watch, when I go into my mechanics for me, shoulders over knees. Now this, no, shoulders are not over knees. But if I go right here, shoulders are stacked over the knees. And that's how you know if you're in the proper position. But when you go into that, you don't want to be shoulders over knees and hyperextended, because then we know we lost our tension in our abs. You're gonna do this and you're gonna find out, oh my God, it's so much to think about. I can't do it all at once. Don't do it all at once. Pick one thing at a time. And what I recommend is start from the bottom up. Start with the feet first. See if you can get to a 12-inch box, keeping equal tension on the bottom of your feet. Start there. When you can do that, then start thinking about doing your squat while keeping the knees in line with the toes with the glutes active. Then when you can do that, add the abs. Then when you can do that, go lats, then thoracic, then head. So don't try to do everything at once. Unless you could do those comfortably, then you start doing that. When you get to the point where you can add weight, the weight's to throw off your movement pattern. So when we add weight, if I were to throw on, let's say a 50-pound kettlebell and I go, shoo, all of a sudden I just lost upper back tension. So that's a sign that, okay, we need to go maybe 35 pounds and sit upright and hold tension there and work that depth. So the idea isn't about sets and reps. It's about creating tension in the right areas, methodically and strategically, to expose weak links so you can make those weak links your strengths, which now those new strengths will have new weak links. And it's just a never-ending process, because as you get stronger, new weak links will show, and then you go dive into those. I'm proud of this video. I hope that's helpful. Please leave a comment if you benefited from this. I like these longer format videos. But yeah, let me know if this video is helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. As always, thank you for the support. Have a lovely day.